Okay, so you can see that Unit 1 is all about polynomials. And Lesson 2 today is going to be multiplying polynomials. So this is not a bad lesson at all. It's pretty easy. Here we're going to show you 3 ways to multiply polynomials. I don't care which way you choose, just learn one. The distributive property. Well, that's the good old rainbow property. So in other words, we wanted to realize that we are distributing 2 terms to this quadnomial. So the first term we're going to distribute is everybody gets multiplied. In the second polynomial, everybody gets multiplied by an x. So that is going to become x to the 4th plus 4x cubed plus 4x squared minus x. Now we're not done because we still have to distribute the second term. That's why it's double distribution here. So we would get negative x cubed minus 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. Now we can start combining like terms. Well, x to the 4th has nobody to combine with. 4x cubed minus x cubed gives me positive 3x cubed. 4x squared minus 4x squared, joy to the world, cancel out. A minus x and a minus 4x give me a total of minus 5x and plus 1. Now, I'm not really a fan of the distributive property when we get to longer things because we get long, drawn out examples. To tell you the truth, I kind of bop between all 3 depending on how big my problem is. So what does tabular look like? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a table. And this table is going to have 4 by 2. And the reason why it's 4 by 2, well, because that's what I have. Here, I'll write x cubed, 4x squared, 4x, and minus 1. See, I took each term and gave it a column. Then this x and this minus 1, I will put here in rows. And then I will do each cell. X cubed times x is x to the 4th. 4x squared times x is 4x cubed. 4x times x is 4x squared. Negative 1 times x is negative x. And I'll fill in the bottom. Everybody is getting multiplied by a negative 1. I like that, which means I keep everybody the same. I just change their signs to negative. Now, sometimes what will happen is you have polynomials going in a decreasing order. See the degrees here? 3, 2, 1, none. 1 degree, no degree. That you get diagonals. So in other words, x to the 4th is x to the 4th. But if I look along this diagonal right here, my x cubes are lined up. So 4x cubed, negative x cubed, gives me positive 3x cubed. Likewise, this diagonal will be like terms. 4x squared, negative 4x squared cancel out. This diagonal will give me like terms. And then we have our last term. Notice we're getting the same answer each time. Well, the traditional method, the last one, is how I was taught. We really don't see that very often. But it's just like, I'm going to go down here to do it, it's just like multiplying large numbers. See, if you were to multiply, the first thing you would do is you would take everybody in the ones place here and multiply it out. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Negative 1 times 4x is negative 4x. Negative 1 times 4x squared is negative 4x squared. Negative 1 times x cubed is negative x cubed. Oh, and you can probably hear my dogs in the background fighting. Now I'm going to move and multiply everybody by the x. X minus 1 is negative x. Look, I indented just like you would do in regular multiplication. You know how you move one in because now I'm multiplying by tens, multiplying by the next degree here. 4x times x is 4x squared. 4x squared times x is 4x cubed. X times x cubed is x to the fourth. And now I can add just like I was doing in third grade. That's plus 1, negative 4x, negative 5x. Cancel out. 3x cubed and x to the fourth. So see, I get the same answer all three ways. I don't care. Pick one and learn one. Love one. So now here I'm telling you that I do different methods depending on what the problem looks like. So for this one right here, example 4, to tell you the truth, I'd probably just do distribution. It's easy to distribute just two terms because I can quickly know, this is how I do it quickly, x cubed. I simply look, this is my shortcut. I look at this second polynomial. And I know each one of these terms is going to get multiplied by x cubed. So quickly I can say x to the fourth is going to be x to the seventh. Negative 5x is going to be negative 5x to the fourth. And 1 x cubed. See, I'm just increasing each term by an x cubed. Then, distribution-wise, each one of these has to get multiplied by a negative 2. So x to the fourth becomes negative 2x to the fourth. Negative 5x becomes positive 10x. So now I look here, I don't have any x's, so I'm going to put positive 10x over here because it doesn't have anybody to combine with. Negative 2 times positive 1 is negative 2, the same thing. Notice that's what I was doing. I was lining up like terms, so it makes it easier to add things together. X to the seventh, negative 7x to the fourth. I have an x cubed. I have a 10x. And I have a minus 2. For this example 5, I got a trinomial times a trinomial. So I'm going to use a table here. It's going to keep things quicker and simpler. X squared minus 2x and 3. There, I wrote that first polynomial as a row. I'll write this next polynomial in the columns. And now, x squared times x to the fourth is x to the sixth. This is negative 2x to the fifth, 3x to the fourth. That's going to be negative 3x to the fourth. This is going to be positive 6x cubed. This is going to be negative 9x squared. This is going to be 5x to the third, negative 10x squared, and 15x. Now it's time to combine like terms. But I did a little trick here. These are decreasing degrees, but they're not systematically going down. In other words, we skipped the third degree and we skipped a no degree. So x to the sixth, there are no other x to the sixth. X to the fifth, there are no other x to the fifths. X to the fourth, however, there are two, but they're not really in that diagonal as pretty as they were the last time. But joy here, they cancel out. All right, x cubes. Do I have any other x cubes? Yes, I do. So that's going to be 11 x cubes. X squareds, we have negative 19 x squareds, and then we have a 15x. And remember, to check yourself, you can use mathway.com. But once again, you got to be a big boy or girl here. Sure, can you go to mathway.com, type every one of these into mathway.com, get your answers, hand in your homework, and go, woohoo, I outsmarted Mrs. Trulin. Go for it, buddy, but there's something called a Regents at the end of the year where I can point and laugh at you. So use it to check yourself, not to wreck yourself. There it is. All I have to do is enter a problem. And let me see, let me steal an easy one here. So, parentheses. X cubed minus 2. See, I'm entering in example 4. Parentheses. X to the 4th minus 5x plus 1. Look, the problem is already, it already knows. Multiply? Is that what you'd like me to do? Why, yes. And now I press answer. And there it is. X to the 7th, bingo, minus 7x to the 4th. Darn, I'm good. Plus x cubed plus 10x minus 2. Have at it, boys and girls.